Welcome back to Capital Today, live on Capital TV channel 420 on HIP TV. You're joining me, Raj Arya. And now we have our CEO FaceTime segment. Well, we know healthcare is always big business, but in one aspect of it, which we all need to focus on, is of course pharmacy. Pharmacies which we go to when we need to see someone, we need to get prescriptions, where we need to buy certain drugs, as well as everyday daycare needs. Now today we're going to interview someone who has founded a new group of pharmacies, and she's the founder of Lovy Pharmacy, Lovy Beh, who is going to talk to Ben Ibrahim with regards to this industry and the challenges it faces. Over to you, Ben.
Thanks very much, Raj. Like Raj said, we're talking to Miss Lovy. And Lovy, welcome to Capital Today, and thank you very much for being with us. I must be honest, we don't have too many pharmaceutical entrepreneurs who do come on our show on a frequent basis, but when you do come on, well, we would love to tap your mind about best practices on how to run a business, especially a pharmaceutical business. But before we go there, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the pharmaceutical industry, especially as a business owner?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, actually my family has been in healthcare business for almost 32 years, and it has been in my blood. So, my dad actually inspired me to study pharmacy so that I can later on help out in the family business. And I studied Master of Pharmacy in England. So now I'm registered in 3 countries, the UK, Singapore, and Malaysia.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. Now, a little bit of an interesting question before we move further to the other interesting questions. Now, pharmacy is a science, and from my experience meeting most pharmacists, you are good enough to do medicine.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't you go into that path of medicine as being a doctor with the white coat, rather than being the doctor with the, well, a master's graduate holder of pharmacy behind the counter?
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure you get this question a lot, yes.
Yeah, of course, someone actually suggested maybe you should study to be a doctor. I was like, oh no, it's a bit too long, you know. And then to specialize takes about 10 years, you know, and I want to still remain young when I graduate. And then, yeah, but pharmacy is a good profession because it's still a professional degree, and it's an easy life for women. It's like 9-to-5 job, yeah, and you still get recognized as
Right,
well.
and still keeping up with the sciences.
Yeah.
Now, your father, was he a pharmacist or more of a business person?
My dad is a microbiologist by profession, and he also did his MBA in business.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it was very much in you to take over the family business, and science is very much in your blood. But tell us about the running of a pharmaceutical business in the industry. It's a heavily regulated industry, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Okay, we first started in for Lovy Pharmacy, but BP Pharmacy we started since like 1995.
Okay.
Lovy Pharmacy started in February 2011.
Okay,
I
just
started
2 years
off
ago,
with, I started off with only 3 people. Now we've grown to about 50 over and still growing. And currently we have about 50 over pharmacy and dispensary chain outlets, and also the online pharmacy. So of course, it is not easy. But as long as you have a good team of staff and they have the same mission and vision with you, we can grow together.
Okay. Now, to run a pharmaceutical business or your own pharmacy, apart from the basics, what is the most important thing that you need? Can you just list maybe 2 or 3? The most important thing that you need to start a pharmaceutical business. Now, most people would say, regardless of industry, you will need cash flow, you will need infrastructure, and you need a premises, a secured premises that is paid up. What about, is it different in the pharmacy business?
Actually, it's not much different.
Not much different,
because, of course, you need, like what you say, the model.
Yep.
You need the network
The
as
network,
well. Because
yeah. Medical
pharmacy,
network or?
Okay, you need to have like a chain of pharmacy network for you, because previously it was easy, independent chain, you know, but right now it's about volume. Who has the bigger purchasing power to buy more at a cheaper price? Yeah. So, and besides that, you need to have like really good, loyal and committed staff to work with you. You have to keep them motivated and work towards the same goal. And of course, regulatory. We need help from the MOH in terms of
Ministry of Health, yes.
Yeah, even for the state government, we need a business license, pharmacy license. So sometimes we do encounter a little bit of a delay, but yeah, hopefully they will speed up better.
Yeah. What are the challenges of working in the industry as well? Is it competition? Is it regulations? Or is it other things that many of us don't talk about? Because this is a business, well, if you're, well, nobody speaks about you, it's a good thing sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for pharmacy, it's quite. Sorry, can you repeat your question?
No, I was just saying, what are the main challenges for you
Yeah.
as a business owner in this industry? Because from my experience of speaking to entrepreneurial pharmacists, they would say sometimes it is the regulations,
Yeah.
sometimes it is the business, the volume itself is extremely competitive, but to each in its own. What's your personal opinion on your own challenges in running this business?
Okay, for us, we run things differently because
Different is good.
yes, for the usual pharmacy that you see globally, they sell price, not value. But for us, we sell value. We add value to the customers. So, for instance, we are proud to say that we are the first pharmacy in the country to launch the drive-through pharmacy in the private sector.
The drive-through pharmacy.
Yes.
Is that like a drive-through McDonald's,
Yeah, like McDonald's.
or KFC? Really?
Yeah.
And you're allowed to do that?
Yeah,
MOH said yes?
yeah.
Fantastic.
They did it already, but it's just that theirs is a little bit separated from the hospital.
Right, right.
Yeah, but ours is like attached together with the specialist centers.
Right.
Yeah, and then we are also the first in the country to launch a webcam pharmacy.
Webcam pharmacy. Tell us about that. a bit
Yeah,
more.
okay. So we give free consultation. If you have any medications that you're not sure of how to take and whether it can interact with other drugs. So our pharmacists are on standby to receive your call.
Right. And this is a FOC service,
Yes,
free of
it's
charge.
an FOC service
Wow. How long have you started this service?
since February 2011.
Oh, since very much opening day.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you spoke earlier a lot about staff training, staff development, staff that need to go the distance with you.
Yeah.
What's your style of trying to get staff to go the distance with you? Because in today's age, a lot of employees are spoiled for choice. They can work
Yeah.
in any industry regardless of qualification, especially with a pharmaceutical qualification. So what's your style of rewarding people, hanging on to people, and motivating people?
Okay, first of all, of course, besides the vitamin M,
Yeah.
you also need to provide comprehensive training so that they can work independently and work collaboratively with our healthcare professionals like our specialists, doctors, nurses, nutritionists. So we have like a module training for them, and they get to be rotated to different branches as well, so that they can experience from different gurus
Right.
to teach them. And they love working with us because they can actually apply what they've learned in the university
Fantastic.
into practice rather than just be a professional just behind the counter. You're no different from a grocery store keeper, you know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So what kind of specialized training does a pharmacist have to go through after their qualifications?
Okay, yeah. Some of them will have like a bachelor's degree or a master degree, and then after that they have to do their pre-registration training, which is equivalent to the housemanship for doctors, for a year, and after that, it has to be recognized by the Malaysian Pharmacy Board
Of course.
as well, and after that they can move into the private sector or the government sector to practice as a pharmacist.
Fantastic. Now, for pharmacy, does an individual, if they do want to enter the industry, can they come from a different qualification? Like you said, your father was from biomedical science. If a biomedical science student walked in the door, a chemistry or physics graduate walked into the door, can they take the necessary short courses to become a pharmacist, or they have to go through the whole rigmarole of studying a pharmaceutical degree?
Actually, for England,
Yes.
because I will
From the
take
UK,
England, no, you still have to do the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's no shortcuts.
No,
How
unfortunately.
about other countries? Do other countries practice that as well? Or they
Not
quite
that I know
lenient?
of. Not that I know of.
So this is quite a strict global
Yes.
pipeline.
Yes.
Okay, now tell us about your plans for 2013 and 2014 as a business entrepreneur. I'm sure you're planning for the next few years, not just for next year. So tell us about some exciting times for Lovy Pharmacy.
Yeah. Of course, to add more services besides the other services that we already have, like the quit smoking programs, the weight management program, multi-dose pill box dispensing. because a lot of people, they are very busy, especially in the cities.
Of course.
They will
Fast-paced.
forget to take their medications. And this is the best service that we can provide for the customers so that they can take their medications on time.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, to grow the online pharmacy business, I do have an online portal as well. So you can shop online and we can deliver within 24 hours to your doorstep. And if you want to opt for fast track service, we can also deliver to major cities within 3 hours.
Right. Now, let's sort of digress a little bit and talk about the online side of your business. Now, in today's day and age, young entrepreneurs like yourself are trying to inject as much e-commerce services of a particular company into the market. Now, earlier we had Mr. Yo from an e-commerce company, an e-commerce design company, come on our show and talk about e-commerce best practices. Can you share with us a little bit about e-commerce best practices in terms of how you do it and how it brings you good results?
Yeah. Okay. Of course, you must first have a nice website.
Yes.
Yeah. You must have
Colorful as well.
Yes,
they say.
colorful, wide product range. But of course, we want to move into even selling medicines online, but with legality. But we have it because we have doctors. But we need the MOH and the Pharmaceutical Services Division to really anchor this and to partner together to work towards that goal. Because currently, they're a bit skeptical, they're a bit like too highly regulated. So, which I think is not so good because we need to move forward. Or else the Southeast Asian countries are going to outbid us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should not be left behind.
Now, Lovy, next year is only 4 days away, and 2015, that, well, not so famous acronym GST is coming in about 16 months' time. What are your biggest concerns for 2013 to 2016 business-wise as a business entrepreneur?
Yeah. Okay. In terms of healthcare, medicines generally are exempted from the GST, except for certain healthcare supplements.
Vitamin C?
Yeah, like the TCMs and the herbal
You can't run away from
supplements.
vitamin C. Everybody needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course, this will affect the customers and consumers more, yeah, than us. Yeah,
And so on your side, not so much of a challenge, is
not
it?
so much.
Yeah. But we notice with certain with certain pharmacies, a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, a lot of consumers still view pharmacies as a retail chain and outlet. I mean, you still can get juices, you still can get chewing gum and your other sweets and sugars, as well as your basic medicine like Dettol, vitamin C, and all Panadol and all of the above. But where I'm going with this is that consumers still see pharmacies as another retail option. But how can you change that mindset for your business?
Okay, that's why Lovy Pharmacy, we don't sell all your hand wash sandwiches
Your
and stuff
basics,
there.
yeah.
No.
No.
I feel that if you do that, you're affecting and disgracing your own profession. We are trained so highly to give the best practices in terms of delivering healthcare, not as a grocery store keeper, you know. And that is why we work synergistically with all the BP Diagnostic and Specialist Center. We are the fully integrated evidence-based healthcare company, so that we can deliver a holistic approach healthcare to the customers.
Fantastic.
And they love it because it's like a one-stop center.
It is because it's all about convenience, and consumers want to come to a particular store for that convenience, especially when they're not feeling very well. But Lovy, not a lot of time left on our interview. We could talk about this for a long time because the pharmaceutical industry is a very interesting industry. Some people say it's a little bit of a mafan industry because of all the mafan being troublesome because of all the heavy regulations. But no, it is an interesting industry because sometimes the toughest industries are the most interesting industries to work in. I'm sure you can attest to that. But last question before we call it a day. Earlier you spoke about the most important thing in this business is about having that network. How did you establish that network? Yes, you probably did have a little bit of an advantage that your dad did give you a few tips here and there, but I'm sure it's all about you and how you did it. So how did you do it?
Okay, I think my training in England and Singapore taught me well. So I was able to apply what I've learned into BP as the holding company and Lovy as the subsidiary. And I was glad that I had enough staff, good staff, committed to work together with me to achieve this goal. And of course, we have the network itself, the BP diagnostic chain. So my job is to transform all the dispensaries to pharmacy status.
So it's all about transformation.
Yes.
Well, transformation from qualification and having good people under you. That is the advice from our guest today, Lovy Beh, founder of Lovy Pharmacy. So thank you very much, Lovy, on behalf of Capital Today
Thank
for
you.
coming onto our
Thanks,
show
man.
and sharing with us some best practices about this very interesting industry. We're just going to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, Raj and I are going to wrap it up and look at certain businesses that are making the headlines today and also for 2014. Stick with us right here on Capital Today.